Hey guys, and welcome back to We Know Wonders. So today we're going to be doing my library book haul, and I haven't really been into buying books like for the past year or so. I've bought like 1 to 2 books, but nothing too crazy. I feel like it's sort of a generational thing where people in my generation who started BookTube or who are involved in sort of the literary world aren't really into hoarding books the way we used to be. I feel like now a lot of people are sort of taking a break from that mentality that we had when we were like 23 or 24 and just really trying to focus on reading the books that we have and borrowing books from like our friends, or in my case from the De La Salle University Library. Okay, so these are some of the books that I checked out. I thought I would share them with you just because it's interesting to see what people are trying to read or what they want to read. So the first book is the collected works from the Pushcart Prize of the year 1990 to 1991. I chose that year because that's the year that I was born, and so I just thought it'd be interesting, and also the art is really cool. It sort of reminds me of traditional tattoos. And yeah, for those of you guys who don't know what the Pushcart Prize is, it's a prize that's given to works that are published in small presses, and I'm very active in sort of the indie publishing small press scene, and I just kind of wanted to see what was out there. Also, I haven't been able to read any fiction at all just because I feel like fiction is such an investment, like time-wise, energy-wise. So I thought maybe this would be a good way to do it, where there would be like short stories or like shorter fiction works that I could get into but not necessarily commit to the way that I would have to commit to a novel. So yeah, I really hope that I enjoy that. Okay. Up next is Selected Poems by Anne Sexton. I was researching about Anne Sexton for the literature class that I teach for work, and I found her really fascinating, and I realized the only poems of her I'd ever read were in a poetry collection owned by my friend Ron back in college. So that was like a bajillion years ago, and I don't really know much about her. So I was like, okay, like I'd want to take sort of a dip into the Anne Sexton pool, so I got this. Up next is Geography 3 by Elizabeth Bishop. Elizabeth Bishop was recommended to me by my friend Erica because she said that Elizabeth Bishop does really well with cataloging and sort of talking about still life and inanimate objects, and that stuff is super up my alley, and I just want to keep my head in the game. Because right now in MFA we're studying playwriting and creative nonfiction, but I do plan to do my poetry thesis. So I'm like, I don't want my skills to get dulled like while I'm doing other things. And of course I don't think that that's actually gonna happen, but I just want to keep my head in the game. Like I want to keep reading poetry. And also I really miss talking about poetry, and I really miss writing papers about poetry. I just really miss poetry. Okay, last but not the least is The Queen Lives Alone, Personal Essays by Ronald Baitan. Dr. Baitan is my teacher. He was my professor for poetry techniques and is currently my professor for creative nonfiction, and he's just an amazing critic, amazing scholar, amazing writer. He is so thorough with the way that he reads poems and essays and the way that he's able to give us feedback and evaluation of our work. And back in my undergrad days, actually, I attended a talk of his, like 3 talks of his actually, and he read a lot of his poems there, and I realized that while I know the poetry aspect of him and his career, I haven't really read anything from him essays wise. So I thought that since we were taking CNF under him this term, it would be a good idea to sort of familiarize myself with his creative nonfiction work. So yeah, I think I'll really enjoy this. I read like some of the essays in it yesterday while I was waiting for my angkas, and they seem really good, so I'll update you guys during my wrap-up if I really like this or not. Right, so that's it for this video. Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future. Let me know what you're reading. I hope everyone is doing well, and that's it for now. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!